Hey everyone, this is Sean Porter with Fight Legends powered by Fightcoin. Every week we do a GameFi throwdown. We take someone from the industry, we bring them in to play the demo, and we talk shop. Here today we have Smurf from Money Match Gaming. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, man. Again, we're having you as a regular guest. We're going to have other people on, but why don't you real quickly give us a quick rundown of Money Match Gaming and what you have going on this week?
Yeah, so Money Match Gaming is an esports community. We're primarily online, so we're an esports and play to earn gaming community. We've been using blockchain technology since about 2017 to help power our events and everything that we do. This weekend or this week, we have a Halo event, kind of like a little impromptu Halo event that we've been doing recently to try to get, just get in the flow of doing, weekly Halo events. And that's play to earn. And then we also have a Smash Bros. Tournament titled NFT Weekly, where we give out NFT trophies, and that will be this Sunday.
Yeah, and great AMA last night. Make sure to check our socials for it. We hung out with legendary heavyweight boxer Shannon Briggs coming into the game. Had a some great questions out there and really got an insight into his career and personality. It was real fun. So make sure everyone checks that out as well.
Nice. Yeah, I always say to people like, especially like naysayers and stuff. I feel like people that are really in the blockchain, they kind of have more of a feeling for things because they, hopefully, especially those that have been in for like longer than a year, they get that things can update all the time, like week to week, day to day. There can be like some major upgrades coming through, and so like your opinions or like what you thought you knew, if you don't continue to learn, you're just gonna get left behind.
Absolutely.
And, but yeah, I'm not surprised, but always excited to see those. The NFT space lately has been wild as far as updates and crypto itself too.
Yeah, it never stops. Whether what the actual traditional markets are doing or crypto, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're slowly starting to see that decoupling, and very bullish on GameFi and NFTs being utilized inside gaming. We were just talking about before we went on air about the Seattle NFT Museum. I read that they're mostly still focused on art and things of that nature, but I guarantee you that they're going to start paying attention to GameFi mechanics and NFT utilization there within. And Fight Legends is going to be right there. Since I am in Seattle, definitely reaching out to talk to them more, so that'll be fun.
Oh yeah, I was just really excited to see like I know Fight Legends is running on Polygon and stuff like that, but I envision the future, especially back in back in the early Steemit days. I was saying this, especially when there was like that fork and stuff like that happening with Steemit, and when DLive left Steemit, that everything would be multi-chain in the future. I'm like, I don't know why people are being such haters. Everything's gonna be multi-chain in the future, anyways. That's the true future.
Yep.
Like the same way that the world is becoming globalized. Like, why would that not happen across the blockchain? And it's technology that's made to be global. But I was excited to see BTC, so BitTorrent chain,
Right.
is KO
Nice.
Ross. It's always Ross. But I was excited to see the BitTorrent chain. It's like launching a what do they call it? It's not an incubator. Oh, like a hackathon. They're calling it a hackathon, but it's really just to have different projects come out and develop for the Tron blockchain and for BTC. So BitTorrent has its own chain now,
Right.
but to develop GameFi, DeFi, and I forgot the other sector. So GameFi, DeFi, and there's like another sector.
Interesting.
But they just want people to do developments for that, and there's $500,000 bounty for different projects that get work done on that. So I'm like, oh yeah, this will encourage some people to go. Probably won't encourage like the biggest people out in the space to show up, because like you get like the Phantoms. Phantom had like a few hundred million for theirs, like, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Polygon had like a similar number, but it'll still
It's
get
still,
like
yeah.
still
Opening
nice.
it up. Yeah, exactly. And for all, I would think that when it comes down to it, those are the people making the biggest moves. Sure, the big companies are going to try and get into the space, from Microsoft, Activision to Meta, all those big companies, but they're coming from it from a different perspective, from what's like actually true to the industry. It's almost counter to what the industry is about and why people are so bullish on it revolutionizing industries like gaming. So I think they're actually beneficial because they actually make people more comfortable with the technology. Funny enough, even though they're the ones misusing it most likely,
Hmm.
and then that opens up the play field for everyone else to come in. The more grassroots projects got kicked there.
Yeah, it's probably because we like waited a little bit between rounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, totally agree. It'll like I feel like the interesting thing about blockchain is just like the smaller orgs and stuff like that. Smaller projects have an opportunity, like a head start on the larger organizations because they have to worry about their brand
Yes. Yes.
more
Yes.
so,
And then
and they
yeah,
can't
there's
yeah,
a
they don't want
wall
to take all that heat.
from yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, that's why someone like Fight Legends, why we as a project decided to do it differently, where we're grassroots crypto, but we're actually reaching across the aisle and just bringing people on the team from traditional gaming. So we're bringing on the Street Fighter 4 background artist, we're bringing on a former Tekken animator, and so those are the things we're doing to try and I think circumnavigate, reach across the aisle slowly. People that are at least a little open to NFTs and crypto are going to see that, and they're going to read up. They're going to do a little bit of reading, and we're getting that cross. Again, Shannon Briggs last night on AMAs, we were definitely getting people coming in that were followers of him and asking questions. And again, they were open enough to come ask questions. Maybe hopefully they checked it out, read up on it a little bit. You never know. So we're definitely trying our best to find ways to reach across that aisle to people that are at least curious and open-minded to it.
Right. Yeah, I was just reading an article this morning about I forget her first name, but Wu of FTX, who's like a
Okay.
chairman that's been brought on to circumnavigate the whole intersection between cryptocurrency and gaming, because obviously FTX, run by Sam Bankman-Fried, one of the largest exchanges in the world, and they were in front of Congress and stuff for that hearing, along with a bunch of other big names like Brian Brooks and stuff,
Yep.
and Coinbase. But yeah, she's in charge of circumnavigating the transition between crypto and gaming, and was very aware that gamers are or what I'll call traditional gamers are being a little I want to say nascent or something, like reluctant to
That's
the
nice.
change to
Yeah.
to the blockchain technology, and oftentimes because I feel like their favorite influencer or something like that, had something negative to say about NFTs and crypto, um, pretty much due to due to certain figureheads or certain stories of people that just use the technology for illicit activities, like Melania Trump.
Right.
So,
Or people like ape in and they have the money that they're not maybe as adverse to the risk. They get
yeah, they don't
burned.
know what they're
They
doing.
tell their regular community about it and they're like, "Well, fuck, he got burned by it. He knows what he's doing. I'm not touching it." So,
Right. Yeah. And yeah, it really hurts, especially like kind of yeah, exactly what you're saying when you have these that YouTuber, because it's like usually like a YouTuber or something like that, and they're like, oh well, I tried NFTs and I threw $10,000 at it, and it's like, who would do that? Like, who are you getting that information that told you to spend $10,000 like on some shit that you don't understand yet? Anybody else in actual crypto is gonna be like, put a little bit of money in that you would not be afraid to lose, and
exactly.
learn about the technology. Because chances are, when you're starting off, you're gonna lose that money, but it'll be a learning lesson because you don't know what you're doing. You might just send it. I don't know how many of my friends, like whenever they're starting off crypto, do like the simplest mistake, which like I've never made that mistake, but like I get how you can make the mistake of like sending it to the wrong address or something, or just
Guilty.
typing a letter wrong,
I'm guilty.
and they just lose it,
Yeah.
and it's gone, and it's like they're like, oh, how do I get that back? And it's like, bam.
It was only $50 though instead of thousands and thousands of dollars. So
Yeah,
that's the key, right?
exactly.
You got to learn
Yeah,
slowly.
yeah. And a lot of people try to use that as like an argument, though. They're like, oh, but you could lose all your money. It's like, you have to learn. You could do that on the street too. If you hand it to like some guy outside of the 7-Eleven and you're like, yeah, pump this gas for me, he just runs off with your gas money. Well, then you made the mistake of thinking that this was like Oregon or some state where they actually pump your gas, or like or like New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they don't do that everywhere.
Right. Hey, are you waiting in a queue now? Because
Yeah, I just pushed the queue.
cool, I'll get in there too. Yeah, absolutely. I was just in Jersey and I didn't notice that if they were still doing that over there, but that could have just been me.
Yeah. I haven't been to Jersey in a few years, so like it could have transitions. I have no idea, but I do know that's been history in Jersey,
Right.
and in Oregon, and like yeah, there's just certain states where they do stuff like that, and it's like interesting. Um,
Interesting. Yeah. Oop.
Because coming from the Midwest, like, nah, we pump our own gas. So I
Yeah.
was like, what are you doing? And they're like, no, you're not allowed to. I'm like, what are you talking about? Get away from my car.
Like not allowed to, like straight up. Like if you're like, no, I got it. They're
Yeah,
like, no, dude,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't.
Like, they're like, yeah, you can't do it.
Huh. Interesting. Ooh, I'm yellow now. Okay. All right. Switching it up here. Yeah, hopefully very soon we're hoping to get Ross himself on here to play and check it out and talk shop. So that'll be fun as well.
Nice.
I know some of the stuff they were working on in development was smoothing out some of the animations, which are looking nice right now. And working on animations for some new players so we can get some variety up in here so Ross doesn't have to fight himself over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that mental anguish. Like, Ross, stop beating yourself up. Me to me. The me to me meme. Full display.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, the throw is slow. You cannot beat a quick strike with it. The throw attempt. Oh, that's bold. That didn't even land.
It's like, okay.
Oh, and I was blocking.
Ah!
Oh, the count.
Oh,
Okay.
didn't
Oh,
kill
they
you.
fixed the damage
Yeah,
of the
like
throw.
they took that damage down.
Dang, that would have finished you.
Yeah, just noticing. I'm like, wow, the damage is not doing something. Yeah, it used to be. That would take that whole last quarter. Funny.
Yeah, right now we're working on. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I want to hear what you're working on.
I was gonna say, well, right now we're working on. We've got a couple things, but the trainers, as far as it's going to be generative. So right now we're kind of brainstorming the different characteristics we'll have on them. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, nice.
What's going on? Come on. All right, hold on. Time out.
No problem. Oh, look
this is Sparta.
No, my God.
Yeah, I came back quick. Wait, how do you do that front? There it is. This is Sparta. Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right. Okay,
I was
nice.
gonna say, I feel like 2022 might end up being the year of, like, we already have like the Hive blockchain and stuff like that, but I think 2022 might actually be the year of new social blockchains really starting to hit it and giving people that opportunity, which I feel like you and I both know has been like a large, like before gaming was a social media blockchains that kind of took the, like, for everybody to understand and be able to earn something. And I'm just seeing a decent amount of them pop up in different ways. FTX involved in certain things again through like Theta and Aave lending.
Right. Okay.
And Protocol, one of the biggest DeFi applications on the market. They started their own social media platform called Lens, and that's only like a week old or so, like about now. The day that we did our last episode was actually the first like 24 hours that it started.
Oh, okay.
KO. Got too low, like he's dead.
Stay away from me. I saw
double KO. Oh, and he grabbed him in the air.
Oh, that's wow, that was pretty cool actually. That was legit. What was I gonna say? Oh, Skirpy.com, I guess, is like if you have an NFT, you put it up there like a Facebook sort of thing. That's one I saw. I ran into them because they have huge spaces every week where they're just like, if you have a Skirpy account, you can come on and chill your NFT. Basically, is the way they're doing it, and that's pretty cool. There's a couple like that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Interesting. Yeah. What blockchain are they on? I'm just curious. I'm like, I think the Aave's one's going to be on. Yeah, it's on Polygon because
I'm actually not sure.
Primarily there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, with so much, like, like there's a saying, follow the flow of money.
Right.
And definitely like to follow the flow of money and the biggest players in the space. Not that I don't have my own opinions on things. Sometimes, they don't make the right calls. But something like Polygon and Aave combining, to make this social media platform that uses NFTs for tracking them. I'm like,
That's
yeah, that's
huge.
going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be really big, and people just don't know yet. So definitely been paying attention to that. Also, Tron launched what people are saying is like looks like a Reddit style forum platform. That's brand new for BTTC, for the BitTorrent chain.
Right.
Which I think they're really trying to get it utilized when they do this hackathon. Is where they want to see it, like really, since they're having this hackathon come out, they want people to be able to like talk and like share information across that.
I'm trying to think of the place I interviewed with, like middle of last year. They were doing some sort of like streaming situation where you would it was like streaming meets peer-to-peer sharing. And somehow, like everyone would invest and peer-to-peer share the streaming mechanisms.
Wow,
somehow, it was interesting. It was a combination of like DLive meets, Pirate Bay, kind of, for lack of a better understanding.
It's not Theta?
No. What was it? Oh man, I keep on thinking Unicorn, but that's not the. I think it was on Polygon. Yeah, I'll have to look that up for a future episode, because that was an interesting something. Like, if it's going on right now, it'd be perfect for both of our verticals to like have accounts on there. What I remember, because
I'm about to go. I'm about to go to this the new platform on Polygon from Aave. It's called Lens, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing that
LENS.
Yep.
Okay.
Lens. It's supposed to be like similar. I forgot like the scientific name. It's like from some plant that like comes out of the dirt and like uses photosynthesis, whatever the heck.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on Voice, because Voice had millions, if not billions of dollars like for their funding or whatever the fuck with EOS. And that's still like, I think if NFTs like really get like a short shaft or whatever,
right,
in the short term, I think Voice is going to be an NFT platform that survives all that, because they do have the authentication. You need authentication to like create your NFTs and create your your account and stuff like that. You have to use your ID and all this other crazy shit. And so all the things that people talk about, for pirating purposes and stuff like that, it's covered with Voice already. They like thought about it already, and it's all covered. So I had our Money Match Gaming community actually go through, and I was like, yeah, just go through, make a bunch of accounts, and take all the popular names that you see taken, and like website domains like cheese,
absolutely,
and like travel and nature. Like, go take them. So
you've told me to do that before. So, I mean, that's a good idea for sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing it on this Lens platform too, because that's the moneymaker in the future. Like, it might not be this year, it might not be next year, but if the platform ever blows up, that's $10,000 per name that you got on the short end. Like, what was it? That's how Michael Saylor got into crypto. It's like,
oh, interesting. Okay,
I think EOS kept coming back to him because he had like some domain name. And they offered him like, so many millions of dollars, and he's like, no. And they came back to him. They offered him like, 2 times as much, and he's like, no. And they came back to him again, and they like it was like that much more money, and it became like the largest domain acquisition and like whatever. And he's like, what the hell? Where do these people have all this money from?
Interesting.
So he started to look into crypto. Like, okay, well, like I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah, they're doing something right over here.
Yeah.
All right, let's do final 3, best of 3. Having a good convo here with Smurf from Money Match Gaming. Thanks for joining us.
No.
I finally got my first win, so now I'm warmed up.
Yeah. Get my blocks in.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, I can't let you get close to me. No,
though?
hey, that wasn't even... That was just me falling. I'm pretty sure. All right. Okay.
Got the strong hits coming.
Apparently.
Man, I really want to know how he does that move. I'm like really spamming too much whenever I throw it out. Nice blocks, nice blocks.
Oh. I thought you were going to finish me for sure. Oh, man, on the block.
No, what?
Wait, what happened? I refuse.
Where I got your health so low.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, he's done for.
standing on his feet, but he's knocked out.
Yeah, out on his feet. Yeah, all right. That's a TKO technically. Ref stoppage.
That's funny. So other big crypto news that happened this week. I'm sure that you saw the haters themselves. Also, the the reason behind most people's woes that they don't know about in central banking. J.P. Morgan, the people that started central banking, pretty much, like in our last the Fed Reserve, as far as the Fed Reserve at least, 'cause they're at the top of the Fed Reserve list for people that don't know. The biggest bank in America at the top of that list is J.P. Morgan, who also held the meeting to start the Federal Reserve. But what was it, like 4 years ago? They said that anybody at J.P. Morgan that was holding Bitcoin would be fired.
Yep.
They let them know and stuff like that. And today, J.P. Morgan is the first bank into the metaverse.
Hey, where? Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, right. You make sure that everybody in a financial situation does not follow, can't do this and that, and blah 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 blah, and then you make sure that you're first.
Absolutely. Go figure.
So they made a lounge in Decentraland, and it's just the first lending, from Legacy Finance lending institution to do so.
First of many.
Yep. That's hilarious.
And that's the way it works, If you're not in the industry, the news you hear is going to have FUD related to it. Because if you're not in the industry, you're trying to fight against it at this point. Or feigning you're fighting against it while you're actually getting into it behind closed doors.
Yeah. I'm like, it's only going to get that much. I feel like, we're so, again, it's wild to say that we're so early because it's been years now. I'm like,
I know, right? But
it's gonna be it's gonna be moving on 10 years soon, and
it's almost like it grows
wild.
Exponentially, though, right? Like it's slow moving now, but once it starts picking up steam, it's it's gonna go quick.
Especially when all the normies finally actually get on, and it's I don't have to do this and that to make the account, but it's like those little things that you have to do, even with the bloody face NFT, as an example, right? You have to go on a marketplace, buy the NFT, know what you're doing enough to have these wallets in crypto traded over to it so that you can get that NFT. It's not just hook up your credit card, which would be super easy, and then you'd have tons of people doing it, right? The first people to buy crypto, for real, when we didn't have these big exchanges and stuff like that, they bought Bitcoin early. They are set for life.
Absolutely.
They put in the extra work.
Yep.
Anybody who puts in the extra work on these DeFi protocols before they're super easy and this and that, they're set for life. People that got into NFTs before it was super easy and all the YouTubers changed their mind, they're set for life.
Yep.
And it's just it just keeps being the case. And the people that are going to be last are the ones that want to be, coddled the entire way. I need it to be this safe. I need to be I walk across the street and somebody comes out and holds my hand, and there's a light that comes on and flashes and lets me know that I can walk across the street. Well, if you did that before you got a car,
true. I like that.
It's nah, fam. You're gonna be way too far behind. You could have made all the money in the world from having the first version of a car.
I think the reason that governments are seeking to control it so much is because I guess they see it as something that will blow up. It's not like stocks where it's okay, some people are going to get into it, but it's not for everyone. Whereas this just encompasses so many industries, it's just going to be huge. So instantly okay, everybody is going to use this. Some people aren't going to bother doing the research. They're going to get burned, and it's a decision as to whether we try to protect them and ruin it for other people through the regulation, or if we do just enough to maybe not have people be able to ruin themselves, but still, if you don't do the proper research, you're still going to get burned. I think that's I don't know how we get there in deciding that, but hopefully that's the outcome.
I think it comes with that regulation where other people, more normies and stuff like that, feel comfortable with it, and it's integrated into their normal banking system and stuff like that. Because there's legislation being worked on. I was just reading something this morning. There's legislation being worked on for stable coins. The tethers and the USDCs and the BUSD. They're working on this legislation and getting it passed. That makes it legal in legal tender.
Absolutely.
And so banks can actually administer that stuff. And if banks can start to administer
stable coins that already exist, then like eventually you do get the United States dollar stable coin and stuff like that. And they've already been talking about that for multiple years now.
Yeah, for
China
sure.
already has their CBDC. Jamaica is working on releasing their CBDC, along with the other like Caribbean islands. So they're all partnered up together with that. And like that, it's just like it's happening, and it just pays to actually be in the, like, well, to not be such a naysayer. Even if you're a naysayer, because I'm like fine with being like naysayer. I don't agree with everything that I hear in politics or in finance or
True.
whatever, but it's like good to know, because like everything's not going to work out and everything's not going to be for you or this or that. But if you don't even know, then like you just put yourself at a disposition where it's like you're gonna get hurt by not knowing. Like when I don't know, I was telling my girlfriend and my family for years where I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be a market crash due to like this quantitative easing shit. If anything wrong happens, there's gonna be a housing market crash due to the way that the housing market is being bought up.
Looks like it, yeah.
And people aren't gonna, yeah. And they're like, oh, I haven't heard anything about a housing market crash. I'm like, but who are you listening to? And
Yeah,
like, what
why-
articles are you reading?
Yeah.
like if you're just reading like normal stuff, you're not gonna catch it. But when you start to like look at the macro situation, like world economics and all these other like billionaires and millionaires and how they're like moving their money around, you start to see it and you start to like question things like, who's buying up all these houses? Why are the prices being pushed up so high? What happened previously when people had these type of interest rates and stuff like that? It caused a crash.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely. I remember years ago I was working some random job and some guy who was like a part-time real estate agent was like, hey, did you know that the reason, like a high majority, I can't remember the exact percentage, but he gave it and he was like, there's a high majority of the houses being bought in the Seattle area are from out of the country investments. And that's what, and it just drives up the pricing even more. And that's why I live way out here outside of the city. You do too. So
Yep. Yeah, they were saying like that, and then was it BlackRock was buying up a bunch of houses during this last like 2021.
okay.
And so like a large amount of houses and neighborhoods that were
Interesting.
being bought up were by BlackRock, which is like a large like hedge fund investment.
Yeah.
What the hell? They just own like so much in the United States already, and people were like, oh, well, how are these? These. It's kind of like when NFTs go for like an insane amount of money, and people were like, well, how was it spent so much? And it's like, well, you got some NFT investors that are people that are invested in cryptocurrency and NFTs, like the Indian guy who became a billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Spent all that money on the first Beeple NFT, and people
Yep.
were like, whoa! And it's like he did that as an advertisement. Like he knows and like all the smart crypto people knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. And like it's an advertisement for crypto and NFTs. It's new technology, so people pay attention. And they were doing the same thing. Like we want, the market's going down. How do we get people to buy in and spend their, push the prices up and stuff like that for these things? And then, like, yeah, you spend some money, and also then they just end up owning more of the fucking market.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because yeah, like you look at like some of these wallets and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, there's 10,000 NFTs, but there's 2,000 holders, and all the NFTs are bought up. Well, that means some of these people own multiple NFTs. Yep. Like, and it's that expensive, but yeah, it's gonna be the same person selling it to you. Ooh.
Ah.
Those leg sweeps, man.
Ah, Bo.
All
right. Well, good match. So Smurf from Money Match Gaming, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Last word, sir.
Pay attention to Fight Legends, Fight Coin. Do your own research and don't get wrecked.
Absolutely, man. All right. Great talking to you. Great hanging, and we'll see you next week.